Welcome back to Everything Whiskey. I'm Callum.
And I'm Sam.
And today we're having a look at John Brilliance.
Alrighty, so today we're going to be doing the John. This is our very first Indian distillery we've ever done. This one's got pretty decent reviews, considering. How much was it?
$90-ish.
90, yeah. So, look, not cheap in any manner, but for an international whiskey, it's not too bad.
I mean, for an Indian whiskey. I've never seen an Indian whiskey anywhere local.
The distribution isn't fantastic in Australia. Even their super budget ones we don't get hold of. So it was started in, I believe, 1992. This specific one, the Brilliance, it's 46%, which is a very nice proof. One, because it's not always nice. It's just it's a good proof to have because it's as low as you can go where you don't need to chill filter it to stop it from becoming cloudy when it gets cold.
Yeah.
So it's high enough that it'll stay nice and clear whether it's on the rocks or not, which is good. And it also adds to the density of flavors. So can't complain with 46, especially when there's just so many damn bottom of the barrel, pardon the pun, just low proof 40%ers going around. But $90 is $90. You'd hope it was not 40. We know many that are well above 100 that are 40. So who knows? Anyway, we'll get into the notes.
Does this have a heavy English impact or Scottish?
I know it's ex-bourbon casks, proof 46%.
Because it smells like, how Australia's whiskey's obviously influenced heavily by Scottish.
Yeah.
This kind of smells very similar. It smells like a Scotch almost.
Well, I guess when you're making whiskey, you're going to go with the mash bills that people are used to, because that's what they think of when they think of whiskey.
Yeah.
So they're probably going for similar mash bill to Scotch using, is it single malt?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably just, I don't know. Well, single malt doesn't make any difference to the grain, but it's probably just a similar kind of mash to Scottish whiskey traditional kind of mash bill. It does smell like it. Less kind of funky. Lots of honey and toffee though.
Yeah, lots of it. With vanilla as well.
Yeah.
Vanilla bean, almost.
It's strong vanilla. It doesn't smell too sharp.
It's quite round.
It's pretty round.
I was expecting this to be quite pungent, I would say. Because
I was expecting it to be a bit more sharp and ethanol-y, but
I mean,
it's not.
I just haven't had an Indian whiskey before, so I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And if they're all along the same lines of the Scotch, then I can get behind that, obviously.
Lots of honey and floral notes. It's got kind of burnt caramel notes in it as well.
Kind of earthy.
The caramel, nuts. There's nutty kind of funk going on, but it's not got that heavy malts that some Speysides and Highlands have.
Yeah.
That funky brand cereal note isn't really going on too strongly.
It's like a chocolate bar with nuts in it. It's got that sweetness from the chocolate and the nuts. It's quite nice.
And then it's just kind of the same on the palate. It's just sweet.
There's some more floral notes as well.
Yeah, it's more. It's got that kind of Japanese little kind of Japanese step.
Japanese, yeah.
It's got it's got a floral note with some honey. There's even a little bit of citrus in it, some lemon
the
peel
zest,
or something. Yeah, something like that.
The grain is there. You're going to notice the malt, but
you'll notice it. Yeah.
It's not overwhelming at all.
No.
I just don't like the name. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
just hard and too generic.
We both forgot the name so many times. We were trying to do the intro and we're saying John Adams and John Paul and it's Paul John.
Yeah.
It's just a weird name. I don't know if
it doesn't sit right in my head as well.
Yeah, I don't know. The name's kind of very forgettable, unfortunately, or at least kind of you mix it up. It's not a name that sticks out and stays with you.
Yeah.
I want to know where. I know it's a CEO. I'm pretty sure John P.
John.
Paul P. John.
See,
it's I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't sit right. Yeah. Nah, it's me as well. Yeah. I keep forgetting about it.
But so it's his name.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of experience making other liquors. They've got whiskey, wine, brandy, lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing. They've been around for a little bit.
And they're from Goa, aren't they?
Yeah.
If anyone's curious, we're drinking batch number 2, by the way.
Yeah.
So if anyone cares.
And age wasn't something I could find easily, so not sure on that one. But they're looking at around. There's none.
No.
Yeah, so, and it's looking around from what people have said about 8 years old, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I would like to know the different, like you know how Texas has wild, like kind of weather that affects the barrels a lot. I want to know how like India is. Like I know it changes because India's pretty big, but like I'd like to see which areas what the consistent weather is like, or if it fluctuates quite a bit. Basically, this is pretty impressive considering, like I know the price isn't low, but it's just like it's still affordable and it's
all their awards.
A ton of awards. Yeah. They're like this. I think they're like the 6th largest whiskey distillery in the world, which is insane.
Isn't India the most?
Consumes,
they're the
India
highest
consumes
consumer.
the most amount of whiskey of any country. They produce a ton of whiskey and they drink a ton of whiskey.
It just hasn't got distribution to get out here.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
And I think a lot of it is budget stuff as well. That is making up the large portion of the kind of bell curve.
Well, I mean, it's like everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the stuff that whiskey lovers, like whiskey nerds, are kind of getting into. I have heard amazing things about Amrut.
Yeah.
Which we have been meaning to try. We just haven't gotten around to it. But this is the first time I've seen this one, and I'm pretty impressed so far. Like, you got, all right proof. It's not sharp and ethanol-y. It's pretty full flavored.
Yep.
Like it's a bit oily, so it's got a decent finish. The finish actually sticks around for a while, and you get this kind of like coffee, dark chocolate note.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I'm pretty impressed so far.
I was gonna say, if you enjoy Scotch, Japanese, maybe even a bit of Australian, this probably is.
Yeah,
good
I
for
think
you.
if you like Scotch and Japanese whiskey, I would say then this is not something that you'll be disappointed in. It's got traditional.
It's right down home plate.
Traditional for those places in the flavor profile, but it's not. It's also not an exact replica. It's kind of got bits
twist
from either. Yeah, it's its own thing, which is good to see. We need to try a much larger, portion of Indian whiskey to get a gauge of what Indian whiskey tastes like as general consistent term with its flavors and stuff. But otherwise, I'm impressed with this so far. The more you let it sit there, it kind of opens up and becomes a bit softer. Like when it first out of the bottle, you're going to get a little bit of sharpness, but that's kind of with like most whiskeys. It has rounded out a bit more. It's less sharp on the nose now.
I was a little confused. Not confused. I was a little bit concerned because when I first bought it, it smelled like a Ned. And if you know us, we don't really like Neds. But yeah, as Sam said, it opened up and it's really nice now. It's almost along the lines of a Macallan, I would say.
It's like a Japanese Macallan kind of thing. I don't know. Like it's got that.
The nose is so nice. I can't stop smelling it.
Yeah. That's a trait with Macallan. Like it always smells better than it tastes. It's always just kind of generic on the taste, but
no, this is
still good.
This isn't generic.
I like this.
I wouldn't call it generic.
No. I'm Macallan normally.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't compare it.
No,
that way.
It's got a nice nose. It does. But the nose does remind me of something a bit Macallan-y with a little bit less sherry and more floral and light fruits and stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of citrus. Alrighty, if you've tried many Indian distilleries or you've tried this one in particular, let us know your thoughts on it. We'll be trying to get into some other ones. So do recommend some good ones you've gotten your hands on. Obviously, distribution's probably going to be a problem with that, but we'll see what Australia's got going on and we'll get what we can get. But if you like this episode, leave us a like. If you want to see future episodes from us, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. If you do, see you next one. Cheers.